Alright, so let's start with the big story that we're tracking on Wion at this hour, where Mamallapuram in South India is gearing up to welcome the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, the temple town is hosting the second informal summit between the Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, President Xi will be arriving in India later in the afternoon. The Chinese president will first land in Tamil Nadu state capital Chennai, which is about 55 odd kilometers from Mamallapuram, which also goes by its very popular name Mamallapuram. Now, Chennai has been gearing up to welcome President Xi, and more than 1,000 school students created the formation of Xi's name in Mandarin. And not just that, they also very interestingly wore these Xi Jinping masks as well.
Don't sit down like that.
Alright, so this is what the very exciting students look like, wearing these Xi Jinping masks and sitting through in the sun. And various cutouts of Xi Jinping were also getting readied. And the children, of course, sat through the entire morning wearing these pretty-looking masks. And quite like what was witnessed in Gujarat last time round, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi's masks had become a huge hit back then as well.
We are doing one program for the China presidents who are coming to India in Mamallapuram, and we are Tamilians, so we are proud to do this program, and we love China, we love India.
All right, now the second informal summit between Modi and Xi Jinping aims to take forward the commitments decided by the two leaders in China's Wuhan when they had met for this very informal summit back on the 27th of April in 2018. Now, notably, the summit is taking place when Pakistan, which calls China its all-weather ally, is trying to, of course, seek and internationalize the Kashmir issue. In fact, the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been pushing Beijing for support on Kashmir, despite having been isolated globally. Now, China, on the other hand, has been trying to do a spectacular balancing act. In a joint statement that was issued ahead of the meeting, Beijing has stressed on the importance of the bilateral agreements, the United Nations Charter and also the UNSC resolutions. Now, the United States and China trade war is, of course, another issue that will dominate the agenda of this meeting. Meanwhile, experts, of course, remain divided on the outcome of this informal summit. However, it is expected that the results will be pretty positive. And also Wion's Siddhant Sibyl, who is right now in Mamallapuram, the place of two UNESCO sites, with the Chinese President Xi Jinping will be visiting with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has sent us this report. Take a look.
The city of Mamallapuram is all decked up for the second India-China informal summit. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President will be present here. This is the 5 rathas behind me, my camera person can pan, and this will be one of the locations where both the leaders are expected to come and visit. In an informal setting, both the leaders will be coming here and meeting. This is a 6th century AD structure. It is a World Heritage Site, and this is one of the most visited places in South India, and it will be visited by two of Asia's most important leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping. It will provide them informal setting to discuss key concerns and convergences, how New Delhi and Beijing can align in an increasingly changing world. Of course, security has been beefed up in the city. The city has been cleansed, and of course the authorities are making sure that everything is up to the mark when both the leaders come here for this important summit, which is now an annual event between both the countries, between India and China, an annual event where both the leaders sit down and discuss issues and perhaps forge a new future for not only two countries but for entire Asia. The two biggest countries of Asia, India and China, are all set to meet again. this time for the second informal summit in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu in the historic city of Mamallapuram. Trade, terror and other global and regional issues will be on the table when the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Follow me, Siddhant Sibbal, for all the live and latest updates on the big summit only on Wion.